Cold stars hung motionless. The Blackstar emerged from the jump corridor like a breath held too long. Lights flickered. The hull groaned as it stabilized from transit. But outside was stillness. A vast, unsettling quiet. Not a debris field. Not a relay. Not even a transmission echo. Just black. Captain Dreknar Voss didn't trust black. James Halden leaned forward from the co-pilot seat, brow furrowed. This should be it. Coordinates are precise. Dreknar's crest twitched. And yet I see no fleet, no station, no return ping. James scanned the readout. Maybe they buried it deeper. A cloak field or delay signal. Rek growled from the weapons station. Or maybe we jumped into a damned graveyard. Kalen, perched at Nav, spoke quietly. Something's wrong with the gravity echo in this region. Mass interference, but there's no object big enough on record to cause it. James turned slowly toward her. Unless it's not on record anymore. Then, a ping, faint, like a ripple across a frozen pond. Kren's voice cracked across comms. Incoming vessel, small, unarmed, just appeared. Dreknar narrowed his eyes. From where? No idea. It wasn't there a blink ago. Now it is. Kalen pulled the image on screen. A small shuttle, smooth and unmarked. Its hull shimmered like polished obsidian. No heat signature, no weapons pods, no visible propulsion trail. It just sat there, drifting, silent. Try hailing, Dreknar barked. Kren tapped keys, fangs bared. They're not broadcasting on any known channel, but wait, something's touching our internal systems. What? Dreknar snapped. Before anyone could answer, a voice filled the bridge. But no console lit up, no comms panel blinked. The voice didn't enter their ears. It entered their minds. Please, let me aboard. I bring warnings and truth. Dreknar rose slowly from the command seat. Kren, you said they weren't transmitting. They're not, Kren said, voice low. We've been breached, psychically. James looked toward Kalen. She was pale, staring at nothing. Heresy? He asked. She nodded once. Full-blooded, or close. Dreknar's eyes darkened. I hate mind readers. Airlock chamber. 15 minutes later, the figure that stepped through the Blackstar's primary airlock wasn't just alien. He was haunting. Tall and elegant, with pale opalescent skin that shimmered under artificial light. Violet eyes glowed faintly beneath a brow marked with fractal tattoos. His robe was simple, but the way it moved, like it anticipated motion, was anything but. He bowed with precision. I am Varan, former seer of the Irisi Conclave, exiled, hunted. Rek didn't lower his weapon. You forgot to add creepy mind voice intruder to your resume. Varan didn't flinch. Would you have opened the hatch otherwise? Fair. James stepped forward. Why us? Why now? Varan turned to face him fully. Because something woke up, something ancient, and it said your name. Observation deck. An hour later, the ship's senior crew sat in a half-circle, some curious, some armed, all wary. Varan stood in the center, calm as a monk. I intercepted a signal, an old one. It came from a system erased from Union archives, an artificial planet, abandoned for centuries. Its beacon should have been dead. James folded his arms. Let me guess, Terran? No, Varan replied. Older, but it responded to Terran encryption. That's what called me. Dreknar's eyes narrowed. You mean it responded to you? Varan didn't blink. It recognized me as a conduit, but what it was searching for was him. He pointed to James, a pause. James scoffed. I've had a really weird week. Varan raised one hand, projecting a holographic waveform. It twisted mid-air, interlaced pulses and deep frequency patterns. James stared, brow tightening. That's Terran war code, he murmured. Not just any, Varen said. The black signal. Kalen inhaled sharply. That's a myth. A doomsday trigger protocol. It's real, James muttered. I've seen fragments. I thought it was corrupted memory. But this is full spectrum. Varen nodded solemnly. And it's not just awake. It's spreading. Flashback. James's past, years ago. Through shattered memories, a scene unfolded. James inside a command center, a secret Terran facility. Surgeons working quietly over his unconscious body. A supervisor whispering, "Encode the chip. Bury it under bone. If he survives, he'll be the last gatekeeper." The lights flicker. A console pulses, and the last words he hears before cryo sleep. If the black signal ever surfaces, run. Return to present. James sat alone in the medbay, shirt half off, staring at the scar along his ribs. Kalen entered quietly, scanning his face. "Don't cut yourself open again," she said softly. He smirked. "I thought about it." She stepped closer, fingers grazing the glowing pattern just beneath his skin. Terran implants. Active. James looked up. "They didn't just save me. They turned me into a relay." Kalen's voice dropped. "You're more than that. You're a trigger." He shook his head. "I was just a systems engineer." "No," she whispered. "You were a contingency." Bridge, later, that cycle Dreknar called the crew. "I need answers," he said, "because I don't make decisions without facts. But what we've got isn't facts. It's myth dressed in code." James stood beside him. The black signal was meant to be fail-deadly. If Earth fell, the code would transmit a final instruction to deep-cover Terran fleets. Sleepers, relics, maybe even constructs. Rek blinked. Constructs? AI war cores, Kalen clarified. Forbidden tech. Varen added, "The signal has been repeating across collapsed sectors, but only this ship responded. Because he's on board." James stepped forward. "And it's not just a beacon. It's an invitation." "To what?" Dreknar asked coldly. James turned toward the stars. "To the real reason the Union erased Earth. Hangar Bay, shortly after a second ping." Kren yelped. "Another contact, object approaching. Small, no life signs." Rek frowned. "Drone?" "Satellite," Kalen corrected, pulling up visuals. "That's Terran build, military grade." The Blackstar's magnetic arm reeled it in. James approached cautiously. The moment he neared the charred shell, it flared with life. Lights rippling, pulses syncing with his chest implant. And then, "Directive 3, Retribution, awaiting chain activation." The bridge went silent. Kalen whispered, "How many of these are still out there?" James didn't answer, because he already knew. Flashback, the collapsed James, still lucid, watching from the Odysseus as Earth's defenses fall. Fire streaking the skies, a voice on loop. "This is Command Prime. If you're hearing this, there is no Earth. Only Directive 3 remains. Scatter, sleep, wait for the key." And then, silence. Until now. Observation deck. Final scene. The crew gathered once more. James stood at the viewport watching the black stretch of space beyond. "I didn't want this," he said quietly. "I didn't ask for it. But someone decided I was worth embedding with the key to a protocol that could start another war." Dreknar said nothing for a long time. Then finally, "If the Union is still trying to bury this, we're already too deep." James nodded. "We either run or find out what they were so scared of." Kalen touched the glass. "Then we follow the next signal." Varen bowed his head. "And pray it does not awaken all that sleeps." A deep hum echoed from the ship's lower decks. The satellite was broadcasting, and the stars were listening.